Hello friends, we are here today in Revelation chapter 11. Some people say that this is the most difficult chapter to interpret. But there's a lot going on here. This is the seventh trumpet and the final woe. But first, what happens is this angel speaks to John and he says, measure the temple. You know, he gives him kind of like a yardstick and he says, measure it. Now, some people take this to mean that the temple in Jerusalem is going to be rebuilt and everything's going to be reestablished. The sacrificial acts and all of the priestly duties that are happening there, they're all going to happen again. And there's some people that are trying to get that to happen even right now. You know, they want the temple rebuilt in Jerusalem. But he's saying, so measure it. You know, that might imply, yeah, it's real, it's there. You know, many people think it's not possible for the temple to be rebuilt in Israel because of the Dome of the Rock. That's the second greatest holy place of Islam. But, you know, God can do anything. So we don't know. The other interpretation of this is to say that the temple is the symbol of the church, of the people. And so he's saying, measure the church and count the people. He's saying, you know, this is God's people. See how many there are. See how big it is. So then it starts talking about the two witnesses. One interpretation is that two witnesses has always been what people need to find the truth. If you are going to have, you know, some sort of case, some sort of, you know, case that you bring before a judge, you need two witnesses. And if you have two witnesses that are testifying to it, you can know that it's the truth because it's corroborated. So some interpretations is saying that the two witnesses is really just a symbol of the church that are proclaiming the truth. These two witnesses are just a symbol. They're saying our two witnesses, you know, people that are representing the truth, truth-sayers. And people defend this well, but I personally don't see it because I look at what these witnesses are doing. I see that they're doing things that the church has not been doing. You know, the church has not said, okay, you know, we'll keep the rain from coming, or we can turn the sea into blood. You know, God is using these witnesses to do miraculous things that the church as a whole couldn't do. You would need some sort of like representatives to do this. So I believe that these two witnesses are exactly what it says, that there are two people that are kind of leading the charge during the tribulation, and for 3 years they're prophesying and they're telling everybody, you know, the truth. They're explaining the gospel and they're bringing on these judgments to the city. Now, the whole world will look at it and they'll be like, I don't like these people. They're causing these bad things to happen and they're trying to tell us to follow God. And at some point, they're going to die. And they're going to be dead in the streets for 3 days and everybody's going to see it. And then they're going to rise again. And God's going to bring them up to heaven. And everybody's going to be freaked out. So that's the way I see it. These two witnesses. Some believe that one of the witnesses is going to be Elijah. And the other witness, people don't know. They think maybe it could be Moses, but there's a problem with that because Elijah didn't have a normal death. And the only other person who didn't have a normal death was Enoch. So some people think that it might be Elijah and Enoch as the two judges, that they're just going to come back down. Now they could be people that just, you know, rise up, you know, like normal people. They're just kind of in the spirit of Elijah, in the same way that John the Baptist was in the spirit of Elijah. So we don't know exactly who these people are, but I believe that there's going to be two witnesses, and they're really going to do, you know, I take this pretty literally. So what happens next is the seventh trumpet and the third woe. You know, the woe was something that was mentioned a couple chapters ago, where some angel said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa," as if to say, you know, these next trumpets that are going to sound, they're going to be very serious. And one of the woes was a great army, and the other one was basically these horrible locusts that make people want to die for 5 months. But what happens in this last woe is that essentially God's kingdom comes, and everything is set right. And when it comes, it says the temple in heaven. Now it should be said that in the beginning of this chapter, it says to measure the temple, and here it says the temple in heaven. Some people think that the reason that the temple is rebuilt is because the temple is really a replica of the same place that's in heaven. And when the replica is opened up, the temple here on earth can open up and is the same as the one in heaven. And it says that when it's opened up, that it brings back all the things from the first couple of trumpets. That is hail and earthquakes and storms. So that's how the chapter ends. You know, you have judgments, but in the end it looks pretty great. So anyways, that is Revelation chapter 11. Have a great day. Bye.